You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 on Instagram and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we welcome in Caryn Beth Gold, Director of Community Engagement for Lawyer Stories Connect. We're very excited to have Caryn with us. Today is actually our 200th episode, and here I am with my wife by my side. She is our Director of Community Engagement, a position designed just for Lawyer Stories Connect. Now, I might have just said that, but I'm very excited because you're here and we're doing this. And episode 100, as you may recall, myself and Jared Russell, huge help getting us through 100 episodes. So now we're at 200. I can't believe it. How are you, Caryn?
Hi, Ben. I'm doing well. Thank you. Honored to be here.
Well, welcome to the team. It's an honor to have you. So, Caryn, tell us a little bit about, yourself and if you're excited to join us or, this next step in Lawyer Stories. Tell us what you've seen with Lawyer Stories over the past year since we've had it.
Of course. Thank you. Absolutely excited to join Lawyer Stories and Lawyer Stories Connect as Director of Community Engagement. I've watched you, Ben, for the last more than 7 years, make your dream a reality. From an idea that you shared with me to an Instagram page you developed with now more than 57,000 followers, to a podcast with, as you said, now 200 episodes, 200 interviews, in-person events, and to me, most importantly, a community.
Well, thank you. So I just want to make it clear that we're not going to have, this isn't like your normal episode 200. This is usually just kind of like a back and forth. I'm not interviewing Caryn about her past and what she's done. I am just very grateful because I feel now that we're able to launch the community membership after all these years of trying to figure out really what Lawyer Stories was. I have someone like Caryn to help me bring it all together because she's actually a really good fit for the position. I've grown authentic relationships throughout my time with Lawyer Stories. It started as a passion project, as everybody is probably aware. A lot of people are aware. We've chatted. One thing I take great pride in is not just taking pictures from other people's Instagram page and posting them on Lawyer Stories. People email me their stories. They still do. And, I have thousands of stories that I've posted on Instagram and Facebook, and now LinkedIn we're trying to build. So I take great pride in knowing people personally, DMs, phone calls. I've done Zoom with people just to catch up and see how they're doing. I genuinely care about the people. And for the longest time, I was like, okay, this is a really cool community. But what is it? Caryn, what is this thing? I know it's something. I know I'm onto something, but I don't know quite what it is yet. And then there was this day where somebody said, hey, I was at this conference in California, and somebody came up to me and said that they saw me featured on Lawyer Stories. And there was an instant connection between these people because they saw each other, at this conference. And I said, oh, this is interesting. So maybe, more people are meeting. And then I heard different accounts and different testimonials about people meeting each other, through Lawyer Stories. I had people who had become the mentor of somebody who wanted to be a criminal defense attorney, go out to Atlanta and be a mentee. I've had people meet in an event and start a law firm. It's an incredible thing. So I was like, okay, I think this is what it is. And, Caryn's been by my side during this thing. And she's she's very ready to take on the opportunity of connecting with everybody who wants to join our official membership community, which has a lot of benefits to it. But Caryn, do you have anything you wanna say, or do you want me to keep going? I'm gonna just turn it over to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I echo everything that Ben just said. And I have always thought that what Ben has done over the last 7 years is meaningful. It's meaningful because we need community now more than ever. With everything in the world and with the advent of social media and technology, we think that we are connecting with people, which we are, but there's only so much connection that you can establish with other individuals in that kind of mass context. And so what we're doing with Lawyer Stories Connect, with this focused space for people in the Lawyer Stories community, legal professionals, is we are trying to give people, and we will succeed in giving people the opportunity to deepen their relationships, to grow them, to advance in their careers and their lives. Because as Ben has talked about all of the stories that he has featured, thousands of them, everyone has a story. And so we want to create this focus space. We've created this focus space, and we're launching this at the end of the month, because we want to allow all of the legal professionals who are interested to connect with each other, not just with Ben. And the examples that Ben talked about are incredible, and those are just a few of them. And so we want to be able to offer that to people wherever they are.
Right. And and Caryn, I'm going to go over the benefits in a few minutes of Lawyer Stories Connect. But I do want to ask you something, because some people might not know this, but like we're sort of transplants, right? To like where we live now. We didn't move here by design. This isn't where our family members are. Like, we moved here, and one thing that was very important to us was to build a community, right? So, and we've done that. Like, the people that we've met are tremendous, and we've built a nice community. So I want to ask you off the cuff, like, what does community mean to you?
Community means feeling at home with others, feeling in a flow, feeling like you have a village, and where you can actually, for me, it's feeling like I can have deep conversations and there's trust.
Hmm.
And where for us now, in our phase of our lives, Ben, in Holden, Massachusetts, it's so much about the two of us and our children.
Yeah.
And so community is, it means what is best for our family.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. And so community is like very important to me as well. Like, I built a community when I was in New Haven, Connecticut. I lived there, like, and I didn't know a soul. And I moved into this big high rise, and I made some amazing friends, built a softball team. We had a lot of fun. And the reason why I bring these things up is because, I love to build community. I'm a big believer in community. And so, when I started saying, hey, like, I had a journey to the path of the law. My path was not linear. I didn't go on these like interviews for these law firms, and I wasn't doing this. And, you know, I felt that this is something that I could put together. Like, this is something that people need. Like, if I had a story, so did you. So, and I think by connecting through our stories and being authentic, people want to hear the real you. People want to hear who you are. We see a lot today about the verdicts and the settlements, and that's incredible. And shake people's hand and be like, wow, that's amazing, and the resumes and the accolades. But we need to bring it off the page. And I don't mean by this making attorneys weak. Nobody wants a weak attorney, okay? But it's so important to be able to connect with the people through authentic relationships in our noble profession, and this is where we're going to do it. And we have a lot of value to offer. I've spent time, and I didn't spend time because I wanted to build this into a business. This was a passion project, and I made friends. I made legit friends. People who've flown out to Boston. Shout out to Jordan Jones last year to see me. People who are coming to our Boston event soon, who sponsored our New York event. Shout out to Neil Goldstein. And it's just been like a pleasure to work on this whenever I can.
Oh, sorry, Ben, I didn't mean to
Go
interrupt you.
ahead.
I just wanted to go back to something that you said, because we all connect through our stories. And
Yeah.
I think what's so important, what has made Lawyer Stories so successful, is the ability to humanize, to show the human side of each of the individuals you featured.
Right.
And when we share our stories, it enables, and not just in Lawyer Stories, but in general, it enables other people to feel like they can share theirs. And so it's almost like taking off any kind of armor that we might have and showing who we really are, and then you can therefore connect.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Some more brief history on Lawyer Stories. I had a vision, didn't know what it was, saw that maybe, okay, I'm going to start connecting people. We had our first event in Miami. Shout out to Kristen Corpian in Brickell. We had a little meet and greet, did a fireside chat, stood up in front of some people and talked about it. I had a decision after that, right before COVID, 2020, I believe it was February, to launch a podcast. I started that in the room but I got evicted because my little daughter, that's her bedroom now, and I have this little step and repeat behind me. So I have this beautiful 9x9 studio in my unfinished basement. Come visit and I'll take a picture with anybody in here. So we then moved on to more live events. Like we have people in South Florida, in New York. We have LA. I'd love to go out to LA. Haven't done that yet. So we're doing events. We have a Boston event coming up October 24th. Spread the word. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. And shout out to, by the way, we gave a shout out to Jared for the first 100 episodes. I want to shout out Pod 617, our guy in Boston, for David Yaz for hooking us up with the next 100 podcasts, as this is the 200th podcast. And this is a very special occasion for us. By the way, like, I love having a podcast. I suggest everybody out there find what it is that they love doing. When you're younger, and I told some staff this actually early on in the week, where I work my regular job, my during the week job, which I actually really like. I said to them, when you're younger, you try to improve on weaknesses, right, Caryn? Like when you're younger, you sort of like, let me see if I can get better at that. Let me improve my weakness. But when you're older, I think it's time to just really focus in on your strengths. So my advice to anybody out there is to focus in on your strengths and go with that. And finally, when I sat behind this microphone, and actually I didn't have the microphone at the time, but I said, wow, this is it. Like, I love this. Like, I love having people come on my show. I love highlighting them. I love making them feel good. I love hearing their story. So thank you, everybody, my 200 guests who've been on. It's been honestly like a pleasure to meet and connect with everybody. I've seen like 5 or 6 people come through at an event. I give them a hug like they're old friends. It's really cool to be able to do that. So
I want to say something, Ben, because I think
yes,
what
go
you
ahead.
said about the focusing on your strengths I absolutely agree with that. And that is the basis for the field of positive psychology. And so I don't think there's any need to to try to improve on your weaknesses. I think to be aware of them and acknowledge them, but spending more of your time on your strengths, absolutely. And the other thing what I wanted to say is that the worldwide community that exists in what is Lawyer Stories is truly because of Ben's heart and soul.
Thank you.
Is absolutely. Ben, you are a master connector. I've always thought so. A highly emotionally intelligent individual and an incredibly skilled leader of groups. And
Oh, thank you.
Lawyer Stories is Ben, and Ben is Lawyer Stories, but, or I should say, and it's co-created because it's all about the connections Ben has made with each of the individuals involved and the people, the professionals who have worked with Ben, who Ben has shouted out to throughout this journey. And so now that we are launching Lawyer Stories Connect, the membership community, it allows us to expand upon it exponentially.
For sure. Thank you, Caryn. Let's talk about like what we're gonna offer in this community. Like I don't want to sound like an infomercial, guys, honestly. Like if you're out there listening, I'm not trying to if you're listening to this at like 3 a.m., like it probably sounds like an infomercial. Hopefully you're not listening to it at 3 a.m. Okay.
It's not like the My Pillow guy.
Yeah, that's right. So we do I don't even have the offerings like in front of me. I don't have the list. I don't know if Caryn, if you do, but if you become a founding member, which we'll probably accept founding members for the next 6 months, right? At a very low price. It's a very low price. And we're offering you anything we could basically do for you, right? So like I did a video, it's in the reels, and fill in, Caryn, where I miss out. So we want to offer you, we're going to do like a welcome post across all social media platforms. Everybody does it, all good. You can share that content, right? We want you to send in, we also have a plaque, actually. My plaque's over there. I did not have the foresight to bring it up here, but we have a little plaque that you're going to get. You love the plaques. Your clients love to see them. They come in, hey, what's this? You could tell them, hey, I'm a community member here. All right, so we have a digital badge, SEO. We're going to do your blog post, put them on our website. Nice. We could do the podcast. You could talk to us about that, getting on the podcast. Caryn, jump in. We're going to do the two most important things. Two of I think that are going to provide high value. Caryn, you could talk about that. You're going to be working a lot with that.
The webinars. Are you talking about the webinars and the roundtable discussion?
Very good. Go ahead. You talk about it.
Yeah. So we will be having regular webinars that are taught by community members who are experts in their respective fields, and those will be regular, and we'll be posting about those, and they'll also be available on demand for later replays, as well as virtual roundtable discussions where it will be more interactive, and those will be also facilitated by community members and professionals in the field. And those two pieces, as Ben said, and I agree, are two, I think, of the most valuable in digital community, because it allows us to really connect and to grow and to learn together. And then you can make comments afterward and during, and you just keep building on each other.
Yeah, for sure. And Caryn's doing a really great job, like reaching out to people, because the thing is, I've had people come to me and say, I want to be an instructor in Lawyer Stories Connect. I want to teach the webinar. And what's going to happen is we're going to have outside instructors, but the people who join Lawyer Stories Connect are also going to teach. They're also going to have a chance to be like, hey, this is my law firm. This is what I do. Let me tell you something a little bit about the law for 20, 30 minutes. And then we're going to build a library that the members will have access to. Okay, so that, and it's all going to be taking place on Mighty Networks, right? And then the virtual roundtables are very important. Caryn and or I will lead them one evening, and it doesn't matter your jurisdiction. Okay, like we're going to talk about best practices, like how you could submit what you want to talk about, best practices, entrepreneurship, how to run a law firm, what payment system you should use, whatever it is. Like we'll talk about it. We'll be a community. The big thing is too networking. I'm going to facilitate networking to people because we know you want those referrals. You could meet a best friend. I've had people meet best friends. Shout out to Devin Williamson who met somebody in Texas. Like we just had a conversation this week. You can meet your friend. You can meet a referral partner. All it takes is one, and that's what I'm here to do. Like I love to be like, hey, you need to meet this person. Boom. So that referral partners are huge. And if I originate any clients, because I am an attorney, I'm licensed in Maine, Mass, and Connecticut. I like to keep those licenses going. I refer those. I will, sign on the case and refer those out. So it is about the referrals. You never know when it's going to happen. But also, we do have the Facebook, the private Facebook page. We have a 700 plus listserv email group that you're going to be part of. So we have all these different things. We want to bring you value, and if we're not bringing value, you tell us and you let us know. Hey, I think you should do this, and we'd love to hear it. So again, we're starting with a founding class. If you're interested, let us know. Caryn is really working hard to get, to get these things lined up for when we do launch. It'll be October, but probably the beginning of November when we really start to move forward with a lot of these things. And you'll love working with Caryn. She's very responsive and very nice. That's why I liked her at first. And now too. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. What did you want to say, Caryn?
Yeah. The other thing, thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
The other thing that I want to make sure we mention is that we do have a list of what we were referring to as preferred partners.
Yes, thank you.
Our businesses.
Thank you.
Who have agreed to be listed as our preferred, not vendors, but
so a lot of these preferred, I appreciate you bringing that up. So a lot of the preferred partners, and this is, Caryn brings this up, but I've been the one working with a lot of these people. I'm going to give a shout out right now. Rise Up Media, they've been amazing. I don't even think they're in there yet. We're going to get them in there. Socialized communication. You guys kind of do the same thing, but it's all good. We have a lot of preferred partners. If you're looking for something to do, like with your firm, you can come to us and we'll be like, hey, I've worked with this person. These people are legit. Like, go to them. So a lot of different preferred partners. And you might get a discount from them. You mentioned our name. So that's very helpful, I believe. Thank you for bringing that up, Caryn.
Absolutely. And I just want to also say, and Ben talked about this a little bit in the beginning. So I am so humbled to be joining Ben in a formal way as Director of Community Engagement. It's a new role for Lawyer Stories and Lawyer Stories Connect. And I am honored to be in this role to establish it. I've had a more than 25-year career, most of which previously I spent in the nonprofit fundraising world. And so much of my work in the fundraising world was about engaging community. And when I think back to what I enjoyed most about all of those different roles, and I worked in various organizations and had positive experiences, and it was always so meaningful to me, and I always believed in the mission, just like I believe in Lawyer Stories, and that's why I was able to sell it, and why I know I will be able to continue to support Ben. I think about the relationships that I developed with each one of my prospects and donors, and how those grew over time, and how I still am in touch with them. And that was always the best part of my work. And I'm so excited to be able to take everything that I've learned over the last 25 years and apply it to hopefully be able to contribute as much as possible and to do the best that I can to further Ben's success with Lawyer Stories and Lawyer Stories Connect.
Well, thank you so much. And you just happen to be a very good fit for this next step. So, we're entering the next phase of Lawyer Stories. I know there's like a lot of people out there that, have supported us and asked us like, what's our next step and what's our end game and like what we're going to offer. And so I hope this clears us up a little bit. And, we're always open to questions. You can DM us anytime. We're going to try to get Caryn a little more involved on Instagram if she can. She's definitely on Facebook, but, we're trying to pull her along on Instagram a little bit. And I don't know, anything else, Caryn, today?
Just one thing I wanted to mention, and it's a quote from Gina, the founder and CEO of Mighty Networks, which Ben mentioned. Mighty Networks, that's the digital platform where we will be hosting Lawyer Stories Connect.
Link in the bio to register for Lawyer Stories, by the way. Go ahead.
It's fantastic. And actually, just interestingly enough, because I like to find connections between things. When I was an undergrad and I happened to be in a sorority, which is crazy to me that I was in a sorority, but my pledge name was Mighty Mouse. And so the word mighty has always meant a lot to me. And so that's just something that I don't know, I find some meaning in that. But what I wanted to say is that Gina, the founder and CEO of Mighty Networks, says this. She says, when a group of people with a shared identity come together, magic happens. So I wanted to leave us all with that, because magic means to me that you just don't know what can happen. You don't know what kind of amazing success and growth you can have. You don't know what's in front of you. And it's so exciting to me and inspiring to be a part of magic.
It's amazing. Caryn Beth Gold, so good to have you on and do our 200th episode. All of what we've done, the first episode with Liz Gold, my sister, shout out to her. Amazing artist. Go check her out. Liz Gold. And then the 100th episode with Jared, having Pod 617 produce a bunch of our episodes, the last 100. Here to the 200th episode with you, Caryn Beth Gold. Thank you so much, Director of Community Engagement. We're so excited to launch this membership community with all of you. We're going to be available for you and provide as much value as we possibly can. Anything else? Are we good?
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world today, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.